Eurasian Economic Union of ex-Soviet states will create a shared market and help integrate economic policy starting next year. Critics, however, say the project is an attempt to revive part of the old Soviet Union. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, meanwhile, predicted that Ukraine would join the bloc eventually. Russia had pressed for Ukraine to join while Viktor Yanukovych was in power as president before his overthrow in February by opposition forces looking to build ties with the European Union. Now, in the meantime, the police in Pakistan have been accused of incompetence after the husband of a woman stoned to death by her own family in broad daylight outside the Lahore court says police just stood by during the attack doing nothing. Farzana Parveen, who was 3 months pregnant, was pelted with bricks and battered by relatives who were furious because she got married against their wishes. Her husband, Muhammad Iqbal, described the police as shameful and inhuman for their failure to stop the attack. Human Rights Chief Navi Pillay also said she was deeply shocked and urged Pakistan's government to take urgent and strong measures against the attackers. The Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif has condemned the act as totally unacceptable and has ordered the Chief Minister of Punjab province to take immediate action and submit a report by this evening. Sexual violence against women is still widespread in India, where 2 girls have been found hanging from a tree in the northern part of the state of Uttar Pradesh after being gang raped. 1 man has been arrested over the murders and 3 policemen removed from duty for not registering the cases when the girls were reported missing. The girls were found in Badaung's district and are thought to be in their early mid-teens. And from the Dalit community, violence and discrimination against women remains deeply entrenched in India, but scrutiny of sexual violence has grown since the 2012 gang rape and murder of a student on a Delhi bus. The government tightened laws on sexual violence last year after widespread protests following that attack. So here's what we know now about the mystery surrounding the missing Malaysian flight MH370. Australian officials say that the area where acoustic signals thought to be linked to the missing plane were detected can now be ruled out as the final resting place of the ill-fated flight. Officials say the Bluefin 21 submersible robot had finished its search of the area and they found nothing. Efforts will now be focused on reviewing search data, surveying the seafloor and bringing in specialist equipment. Flight MH370, as you remember, went missing on March the 8th, just as it flew from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. Using satellite data now, officials have concluded that the airliner, which had 239 people on board, just ended its journey in the Indian Ocean, northwest of the Australian city of Perth. No trace of the plane has been found since then, and there's been no explanation for its disappearance. North Korea has agreed to reopen an investigation into the fate of Japanese nationals it abducted decades ago. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe announced the move after days of talks between officials in Sweden. Japan says North Korea abducted several of its citizens in the 1970s and 1980s to train them as spies, including learning the Japanese language and behavior. North Korea has admitted kidnapping 13 Japanese nationals. It allowed 5 to return to Japan in 2002 and later released their children, but says the other 8 had died. The most high-profile of these 8 is Megumi Yokota, who was kidnapped by North Korean agents on her way home from school in 1977. She was just 13 years old. North Korea says she married a South Korean abductee and had a daughter before killing herself in 1994. North Korea returned what it said were her remains in 2004, but DNA tests subsequently disputed that claim. We turn now to the lighter side of our stories here on The World Today. On to Tinseltown. Hollywood movie star Brad Pitt got more than he bargained for at the premiere of Maleficent in Los Angeles after a man punched him in the face. Ukrainian reporter Vitaly Cedric is known for pranking celebrities. He was reportedly seen jumping over a barrier, hugging and then striking the star. The 25-year-old was arrested to the floor by bodyguards before being led away in handcuffs by police. And Mr. Pitt, who has been signing autographs at the time, was not seriously hurt. He laughed about it. Maleficent's Disney's modern retelling of the Sleeping Beauty fairy tale, starring Brad Pitt's partner, Angelina Jolie, as its villain. A controversial British artist, Tracy Emin, will see her most famous work, her unmade bed, go up for sale this summer. The installation is being sold from the private collection of advertising tycoon Charles Saatchi, and the sale will be handled by Christie's.
Artist Tracy Emin's famous work, My Bed, will be auctioned for the first time this summer. In an interview in her studio, Emin said she thought it was symbolic that the work would be changing owners soon.
Well, Charles Saatchi contacted me long before, other people knew. First of all, to see how I felt about it and to tell me what he was thinking of doing. And as far as I was concerned, it was kind of like a good thing because it's not like an end of an era, but it's a passing of time.
Emin's unmade bed caused a sensation when it was displayed at the Tate Modern in 1999 because it contained an array of personal items, including cigarette butts, condoms, a pregnancy testing kit, and underwear. Since then, the bed has been seen in Japan, New York, Spain, Switzerland, and Germany. But due to the variety of components, Emin said the process of dismantling and assembling the installation is complex.
When I installed it in Frankfurt a couple of years ago, I was kind of mortified and I was in tears, and I said it was like going for a crime scene, because I think what people don't realise is everything from the bed, like every single dog end from the cigarette is in its own little bag, the ash is in another bag.
Proceeds from the sale will be used to finance free admission to the Saatchi Gallery in London.
I guess when you do become famous, everything about you becomes intriguing. But that's the world today. Thanks for watching. I am Amarachi Ubani. Stay tuned. Sports News is up next.